Hello learners, welcome to this another session of Certificate in Fashion Design program. Uh, Today we will be discussing on the topic identification of perfect seams. So this is a practical activity of course 2 of this program, which is titled as Basics of Pattern Making and Sieving. We have discussed earlier the unit part of this particular course, and this is activity 9 of the practical manual of this particular course, and it is titled as Identification of Perfect Seam. So let us point out what all points we will be discussing in this particular session. So we will discuss the thread tension and its adjustment. As in the last session we have discussed about the sieving machine, its parts and its function, and how to set the sieving machine for proper function. So now we will discuss some remedies and what adjustment we have to do with the machine. So we will just discuss the thread tension and its adjustment and different terminologies related to seams. When we talk about the seam, there are different terminologies which, as a learner of fashion design or a student of fashion design, you should know different terminologies which are related to the seams. So first of all, what activity 9 is about, it is titled as to identify the perfect seam. So we have discussed in the other activities of this particular practical manual the different types of seams, in which we discussed about the flat felt seam, French seam, and different types of seam for every particular fabric. For different fabric we have different types of seams. So how we will know, how we'll get to know which is the perfect seam for the which type of fabric. So in this particular activity you can identify, after going through this activity, you can identify which type of seam, which group of seams you can apply for what type of fabrics. So when you will do this activity by your own, you can adjust the thread tensions on the sieving machine, and you can identify and achieve balanced stitch tension. When you will go learn how the seam is and how sieving machine works, you can achieve these two learning objectives by after doing this activity. So the first of all, let us know what all material you require to start this activity. First of all, you require a single needle lock stitch machine, as we have discussed also what this machine is about. So the sieving machine what you see in at your home or very frequently at which is in the domestic use, it is said as the single needle lock stitch machine. So you first material what you require is the single needle lock stitch machine. Then you need to have a good understanding of the sieving machine. In the earlier activity we discussed about this every part and functions of sieving machine, handling the safety measures of sieving machine. So you should have before doing this activity, you should be a good control on the earlier activity of the sieving machine, so and better understanding to perform this activity very well. Then you should have a good control over the sieving machine speed, which in the last activity you will practice, and ability to stitch straight lines, angles and curves. And you should have a material such as muslin cloth or cotton fabric for sample of preparing the samples of seams or different stitches. You can have these cotton fabric or the muslin fabric for developing the samples. And the most important, you should have your sieving kit. In your sieving kit you should have all the necessary requirements or the materials such as scissors, threads, needle, marking chalk, measuring tape,